Hi, thanks for joining me for Quick Business Tips. I'm Jennifer with Limitless Impact Agency. Are you dreading the annual review that you know you really should do for your business in Q4? Are you a little afraid to pull up some spreadsheets, look at those profit and loss statements, and start measuring all of the effort that you put into 2025 against the numbers that you are seeing on the screen? Well, if you're anything like me, numbers are, just not really your happy place. And sometimes the year review process can feel a little less than satisfying. Even if you hit all of your revenue targets and still feel, you can still feel like this review is missing something. Because you can have a good year on paper, but feel drained, uninspired, or just disconnected from your work. And if that's you, then we are going to have a great conversation today because I am going to talk about a lot of the things that are going on in your business that don't show up on spreadsheets. We're going to talk about a more holistic way to look at the year-end review, which still includes numbers, but doesn't just include numbers. We're going to create a soul-centered scorecard that can give you a true look at your business, its health, and your growth as a leader. Because as business owners, if you've been in business for a year or more and you've done this review already, you know that the traditional numbers only review is really just something that we've been dragging along with us from a different time of business. It's a tool that does measure your profit, which is important, but it completely fails to measure a lot of the other things that are important for entrepreneurs today. Because when we only look at the financials, we're missing a lot of meaningful data that is important not only for celebrating the successes, but also improving for next year. Because the numbers on the page aren't going to talk about all the amazing wins that you've gotten for your clients. They're not going to include the stories of transformation that are the reason why you started your business in the first place. The numbers in a spreadsheet don't talk about the success your team has had or the new skills that they learned this last year or the culture that you've built to support your business and the clients that depend on you. Spreadsheets don't capture the moments of collaboration and growth, whether it's internally with your team or collaborating externally with a referral partner, that really make your work feel meaningful. And spreadsheets certainly don't talk about your own personal wins or achievements as a leader. They don't measure your confidence, your peace of mind, or whether your business is giving you energy or completely draining you of it. Because it's a heart-centered business. If you just look at the P&Ls, it's like trying to understand a beautiful, complex, abstract painting by just looking at the price tag. And when you do that, you miss all of the picture. But we can fix this scorecard that we've all been taught to look at to grade our business and instead create one that incorporates the numbers, but also gives us a more holistic picture of your business health and success. And we do that by looking at 5 Ps for the whole year. And this becomes your new scorecard to give you a more heart-centered review. So the first P is profit, because let's face it, we are not here to be wasting our time and not being able to put roof over our head, food on our plate, and generously give to other causes. Profit is the foundation that makes everything else that you do in your business and with the money that comes in possible. This is the financial health of your business, and it's important. But the key question here isn't just how much revenue did we make, but beyond revenue, how profitable were we? So you can have a $5 million company and only take home $200,000 because you're spending too much on ads, or you're overspending on a sales team that isn't producing, or your rates aren't where they should be. So profits are really what matters, and completely different from revenue. And when we start looking at our profits and digging in not to just the whole number, but each individual service that we offer, how profitable was that? Then we can see what services are most efficient, most profitable, and where do we have a lot of financial waste? Are we spending way too much money on ads that just aren't turning into sales? So that's the first P. The second P is the people. This is about the team, the culture. Whether you have actual employees that are W-2, in the office with you or meeting with you on Zoom on a regular basis, or if you're working with contractors, this all plays a part in the internal health of your organization. Because when a business hits all of their profit numbers, but there's a toxic culture, that's not a successful business. And it's not going to sustain for the long run. So the questions you want to ask for people is, does my team feel supported? Do they feel challenged? And have I given them the power to take the action that they need to take to really be successful in their role? Also, you want to ask, what were some big wins that the team had? So take some time and go through this and really think about the people that are helping you build your business. Now, pillar number 3 is purpose. This is where we talk about your why, your North Star, the guiding principle. What did you do this business for? It wasn't just to put money in the bank. So this is going to be looking back at your mission statement and your client impact. And some of the questions that you're going to want to ask are, what were the big wins that our clients had this year because of the work that we did for them? You want to have 3 to 5 transformative stories of impact that not only help you judge the health of your business and where you are making impact in your industry, but they're also super great to use on social media, the website, and some email campaigns, things like that. So it's great to always have a new set of these every year and stories that you can tell about clients that are really thriving under your guidance. Now, the fourth step is your process. This is going to measure the operational health of your business. That's the efficiency and ease of how things get done. So these questions are going to be along the lines of, what felt easy this year? What felt streamlined? What felt like you could do it in your sleep, or your team could do it in their sleep? And then you want to ask, what felt clunky? What was frustrating? What felt chaotic? So that you can take all of that information and make the frustrating, chaotic, clunky much more streamlined next year. And the last P is personal. This one is the one that gets overlooked so often, but it is crucial for the human behind the brand. This is about your own health as a leader. And the best part is you can ask every person in your leadership team to do this personal review for themselves. Some of the questions that you're going to want to ask are, how much of my business energized me and how much of it drained me? And where did I see growth this year as a leader? These are key questions to increase your business health and success in 2026. Now, Once you have all of this information sort of like brainstormed on a sheet of paper, you're going to have a ton of information, and it's going to give you an entire picture of the data of your business for the whole year. But if you're just reviewing without taking any action, it's like putting together a scrapbook. So the final step here is to build that bridge where we go from reflection and review to effective forward planning for next year. And it doesn't have to be a complex process. It can be very simple. You take all of the insights that you learned in those 5 Ps and you apply a simple filter. Do we double down? Was this amazing and we want more of it? Does this area need improvement? Or do we need to just remove this entirely? So let's say we go back to profits, right? Because that's the one we're all used to reviewing anyway. And you see that one of the services you offer is so incredibly profitable. So you might want to double down on that next year. You're going to run more ads, you're going to do some more launches, you're going to do whatever you do to increase sales for that service. But when you look at your process, you realize that your client onboarding is a little clunky. So we can't remove client onboarding. We need to improve that. And then you set some goals and some dates, and hopefully before the end of Q1, you have a much more streamlined client onboarding. Then maybe you get to the 5th P, your personal review, and you see that there are some services that you offer that drain your energy. So you either remove them entirely from your business or you remove them from your plate and give them to somebody who will get so much joy out of them on your team. It's a tough decision, especially if that service is profitable. But let me tell you, when you have high energy, you make more sales. So go through, like, really take the time to go through this and make some decisions that are going to help you improve 2026, not just from a number standpoint, but also from an emotional, psychological health standpoint. Because when you have a service that's profitable, but emotionally it's completely draining, there are ways that you can improve that service, turn it into something. Sometimes it takes the tiniest tweaks. I had a core offer a couple years ago, and I wasn't really excited about selling it, and I wasn't really excited about delivering it. And it took a mentor of mine just asking me, like, are you excited about this? And I was like, oh, well, it's profitable. Like, it's really profitable. She's like, yeah, but are you excited about this? And I was like, whoa, do I get to ask myself that question? Like, am I allowed to say I'm not excited about it? And so it needs to, like, go? Is that okay? It's making so much money for me. And it turns out it just needed a tiny tweak. When I gave myself the freedom to sit down and really think about what was it that I didn't like, it just needed a couple tweaks. And then I was super excited about it. And my sales for that service went through the roof. We've already established that that service was very profitable. So it was a huge win for the company. But if my mentor hadn't asked me, are you excited about this? She knew the answer. She could see it clearly on my face. And the reality is, your customers can too. When you have a service that you're not excited about, you can't fake excitement when you're selling it. But when you are truly excited about something and you know that this can change their lives or their business, it is so easy to sell. It doesn't even feel like selling. So go through the 5 pillars, take a look at it, improve, remove, or double down on. This type of soul-centered scorecard is more than just a review. It can be a very clarifying ritual that you do not just on a yearly basis, which is awesome. I would also recommend you doing a mini review every quarter so you don't have to wait till the end of the year to see that you got way off track in Q1. And this is the type of process that can transform your business and even the review itself from one that feels very judgmental to one that feels like a clear compass pointing you in the direction that you want your business to go. Doing a deep, honest reflection of your own business can be really challenging for some people. And if you're one of those people and you would like to have a strategic partner to help guide you through this review and help you see what bridges need to be built to really have a clear, effective plan for 2026, I would love to book a free next level call with you, because this is the deep work that I absolutely love to do with my clients. You can find a link for the session in the show notes below. Now I'd like to leave you with your actionable step for this week. Pull out your calendar, schedule 90 minutes of quiet time that you can take to go through your own soul-centered scorecard. Go through the 5 pillars, then sit down with your team and see where you need to improve, remove, or double down. Because the business that you've built is so much more than a balance sheet. You've built a team, you've created amazing impact for your clients, you have processes in place that are fantastic, and I know that you've grown as a person this year. And this is 90 minutes where you can take time to honor all of it. And then give yourself the gift of a more complete measure of your business success. So until next week, keep leading with integrity, serving with heart, and building a business that is truly impactful. I'm Jennifer Swineford with Limitless Impact.